All right, what's up, everybody? It's No Luck. It's your boy. I have a kind of an impromptu video. This wasn't in the plans, not on the agenda. This one's a little bit different. I don't like to do these kinds of videos. I don't like being a reaction channel of any kind, nothing like that. But this was so egregious, such a sin against God, such blasphemy that I felt the need that, we had to get this out here into the public eye. And when I say we, I have the real boxer with me. I have Tyson Fury's worst nightmare. I have Deontay Wilder's mentor, Jester. Would you like to say hello?
Yo.
We also have another impromptu part of this video, a fellow by the name of Taco. Taco, would you like to say hi to the nice people of the world?
Yeah, what's up?
This is Taco. Taco's pretty knowledgeable on JJK as well. I think he is perfectly qualified to shit all over this tier list, and that's all we're going to be doing in this video. I am so offended and appalled as somebody who scales, somebody who likes JJK, somebody who thinks fiction should not be besmirched this way. So without further ado, let's jump into this now. First and foremost, we got Jester.
I'll go first.
Yep. All right, Jester, what you got to say? Talk to him.
Big problem. So for some odd reason, Nanami is an entire tier above Gojo, which is stupid because you can't name a legitimate way he could even touch Gojo. Gojo's the strongest in the verse for a reason because his ability is so broken he can literally die and come back to life, regen himself. Infinity, nobody can touch him. Even if you can touch him, he's literally going to come back to life. Legitimately, there's nothing you could do. Nanami has no ability that could get through Infinity. You literally can't name a single AP speed feat that puts him above Gojo or anybody even in that list. I'm just so confused. Another big problem is why Toji is the second weakest person on the freaking list below Panda. How is that even realistic? Yeah, the guy who got past Gojo's perception and blitzed him and bro. And I'm not talking about current Gojo. I'm talking about an earlier teenager Gojo. But even that teenager Gojo would shit on 85% of the verse, 90. Bro, let's be very serious, bro. Just the fact that he poops on special grades. He straight up 1v1s and craps on special grade ghetto. Hello? This is early ghetto, obviously a weaker one, but he's still a special grade. Panda's not special grade. What? So why would he lose to him? And how is Panda over Mahito? I want you to know how we would beat his domain expansion. Can anybody name me a single way that Panda would beat Mahito's domain expansion? No, there's none, right? I want to understand how Mahito's under Hanami, a tier under Hanami. That one's also very interesting. I want to know how Jogo's strength is unknown. I want to know how Yuta, who 1v1s and poops on Yuji, is unknown. How is Yuji a tier above Gojo? Oh yeah. How is Yuji relative to Sukuna on this tier list? How is Gojo relative to Megumi? There's a lot of problems here, man. How is Nobara 3 categories under SO, who she beat down?
Well, before we go crazy and go over all of them just glancingly, let's start with this first one. So what's going on with Nanami over Gojo? Because there's quite a few problems, and I think this comes from a meme argument I've had in my own debates with JJK, right? There's an argument people use that Nanami is in fact better with cursed energy and cursed techniques because he has the world record for most black flashes in a day. This is so dumb because Yuji is better with black flash than Nanami, number one. And number two, even if Nanami had perfected the art, the dance of the curse technique, whatever, it doesn't make him stronger than Gojo in any way. And also, there's just nothing he could do. If Nanami and Gojo fight, I want y'all to understand there is a negative chance Nanami survives more than a second with him, unless Gojo is just messing around or asleep. So, on top of that, how are you gonna put Nanami in special grade above Hanami, number one, above Mahito, the person that killed him and beat him, mind you? So Mahito beat Nanami and Yuji at the same time. I want y'all to understand that. They're basically saved by Sukuna in this fight. So how are you going to put Nanami above Mahito, who beat him with help? What? Bro, you had every... So Nanami came into this with every advantage because Mahito was already injured and fatigued because Yuji had hurt him. And then Mahito just thinks like, oh, wait. I think my soul is shaped kind of like a pine cone, and then gets a giant pine cone amp off of it and just starts whooping both of them. And this is before the other like 3-4 amps he gets after this. And this is before he kills Nanami later. And this is before he gets the biggest amp we see in the series, where he becomes distorted, killing Mahito. I'm sorry, this is ridiculous. Absolute absurdity. Silliness. What was the next thing you wanted to touch on, Jester?
I think I named a couple of things.
Yeah, I think something with Toji.
Yeah, so Toji literally fights a ghetto who's special grade, and like, if you guys don't know, like the early teenager ghetto who's like already known as like a special grade of like special grade like summonings or monsters, like bro, like Toji straight up 1v1s them, gets put in like a pseudo domain, and then hits all the hits from the domain and then poops on them, and then starts shooting him with a Glock. And that, keep in mind, that Toji is not even prime Toji, is a weakened Toji.
Exactly.
He's an out of shape Toji, just crapping on Gojo and like Ghetto, like, or early Gojo and Ghetto. So 2 special grade Jujutsu sorcerers. So looking at this list, where do we go up to where they're special grade? Because I'm pretty sure like the curse speech user, he isn't even special grade either, right?
No, they put him in grade 2 for some reason.
Yeah, so I don't think Panda, Panda, the curse speech user, I think Hanami's like special grade, right?
Hanami
special
is
grade.
Yeah, Hanami's technically a special grade. Yes.
Okay, so at the minimum, right, with no feats of what we know, this guy beats a special grade user, but he's, let me see this. He is 2-3 tiers below one.
Yep.
The second weakest on the list.
And here's the funny
Jester.
part. Oh, what's up, Taka?
Sorry to poop on your parade, but in the Gojo flashback, Teen Ghetto is actually high grade 1, not special grade.
Oh, my bad. Yeah, I just remembered that incorrectly. I thought he was like really close to it or something like that.
Yeah.
I think the main thing would just be they. Yeah.
So, in this case, there's another funny thing to this. So, there's a team of cursed spirits, and Hanami is actually not the strongest in this, right? The strongest of the cursed spirits that were under Ghetto's, direction, or Kenjaku's direction, it basically goes Jogo on top, Jogo on top before Mahito transforms, and then after he transforms, it's Mahito. But it's kind of weird to me because Dagon should still be stronger than Hanami, and Hanami is one of the weaker ones. That means that Toji, when he comes back and is revived, destroys Dagon, just embarrasses him. This means that he would have destroyed Hanami, and Hanami is 2 tiers above Toji? What? And
wait,
what's up?
On top of that, doesn't the Toji, when he comes back to life, literally clown on Megumi, who's above Hanami on this list?
Dude, it's so funny. Megumi's also 2 tiers above him, and he almost killed Megumi. Megumi, he actually shits himself in this fight worse than he did against, I think it was 2 or 3 Finger Sukuna, when Megumi had to fight Sukuna. Like, are y'all... Bro, basically the boogeyman of the verse didn't scare Megumi as much as Toji did. And Megumi didn't even know who Toji was. He saw Toji fight for all of about the quarter of a second it took to just snatch Dagon's soul, and basically said, yeah, this guy in this quarter of a second has scared me more than Sukuna has. And for some reason, Megumi is scaled to be higher than this person. This guy thought that his life was over. He's like, I'm gonna die a virgin now, this sucks. And then like somehow this person who won't be named on this tier list just decided Megumi's stronger than him by 2 tiers. Like, I'm fucking offended. I'm gonna keep it a buck. So, Jester, what was I think you had other stuff you wanted to go over with this too. What was...
I mean, there's one I just noticed right now that I have a problem with. I just want to understand how does Yuji, like, in any sort of way, scale over Gojo? I'm just waiting for any type of scaling.
There's
Like,
nothing.
There's not even
Sorry.
a meme argument for that. You can't even meme out. Like, there's literally no meme argument for that.
Yeah, and I'm like, a lot of you know, I have some crazy arguments that I'll use just for funsies. I don't even have a devil's advocate argument for Yuji being over Gojo. Like, it's, I can't. Like, I could probably wank Yuji into like planetary, give him like MFTL speed, MFTL speeds. It probably wouldn't even matter. It wouldn't help him. Like, in all honesty, he wouldn't even hit Gojo. So there's that. And while we're on the topic of Gojo, his placement on this list is hilarious because damn near everybody above him admits that he's too strong to be messed with, right? Hanami said he's the strongest in the world. Geto admits he was stronger than him. Kenjaku admits Gojo's literally too strong to have around. Mind you, this is the guy who's so ambitious, he thinks he can recruit and control Sukuna if he's fully revived at his full power, right? And he thinks that Gojo's too powerful to be even left on the board. Like, this is... No, I'm sorry. Let's talk about Chozo, the Cursed Wombs. They didn't want to fight Gojo. Let's look at Hanami even being in the same tier list as Gojo. Hanami actually just shits her pants. As soon as Gojo takes the barrier down, she's like, yeah, I think I'm gonna leave. Like, she's about to kill Yuji and Todo. Like, she's about to take, like, the advantage, beat both of them, accomplish her mission. And she sees Gojo just being in the vicinity and is like, nah, I'm gonna dip. Which was a great idea, because if she had gotten hit by Hollow Purple, she would have been erased from existence. So she was correct.
Another thing I want you to point out, for the people who haven't even read the manga, if you've watched the anime, you don't understand how is Mahito 2 categories under Nanami. You can't even meme out like that. That's literally impossible.
There's nothing. And that's what I was saying earlier, bro.
He loses one-on-one.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying earlier, bro. They fight technically. Well, I won't count the third one. They fight twice. They 1v1 each other. Nanami almost dies, right? The second time, he fights a weakened Mahito for a little bit with Yuji's help, and he still loses. Like, they had to be saved by Sukuna, and that was just the luckiest of the lucky. In fact, Nanami has to be saved twice. He has to be saved the first time when he gets caught in the domain and Yuji breaks in. And as soon as he was in the domain, he was like, oh, I'm probably just gonna die. This is kind of GG, right? So then from there, like, Yuji breaks in, and then it just so happens that Sukuna doesn't like having his soul looked at. So he just whoops Mahito, like, right off top right there. So, I don't know, bro. That's wild. Now, Jester, and I'm trying not to spoil for, like, a video for later, but Jester, how do you feel? No, not you. I'm trying not to spoil a video I'm gonna do later, but Jester, how do you feel about Sukuna being above Gojo?
I think that's ridiculous. Like, I'm pretty sure, and I could, like, I'm not even done, like, reading, like, JJK, like, I just got past it in inventory, but I looked at the tier list and I just knew it was wrong. Like, isn't it stated directly, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, anybody, that Gojo's the strongest?
Gojo's absolutely, like, it's kind of like a weird thing with Sukuna, because, like, there's statements and all kinds of scaling for, like, prime Sukuna, not the one we've seen, but, like, prime Sukuna. So it's arguable, but damn near everyone in this verse and most people who scale the verse just acknowledge Gojo as the strongest. He has no business, like, just being a tier below anybody.
Yeah, even in Gege's fan book, he says Gojo is a power ceiling of the verse. So yeah, he's definitely the strongest.
Yeah. And then there was another funny part to this. So there's Jester, I don't know how far you in or how far in you are, but this tier list is funny because it has Nobara above Mahito. Now, for those of you that have never even heard me speak, Nobara is one of my favorite characters. She's actually my second favorite. Now, I don't like to say this, but Mahito shits all over Nobara. Like, it's really bad. Nobara fought a clone of Mahito, and it's not like she was just dominating him. It was the fact that she happens to have a hard counter ability to him. And even then, she's fighting a weakened clone, And the best argument you can have is that they're relative. And as soon as Nobara sees the original Mahito, she gets flatlined. Like, she gets slammed on her neck. Like, almost literally. So, no, I'm sorry. Nobara has no business being above Mahito either. Panda has no business being above Mahito. His best feat...
How was Todo beating Toji? Like, how was that even possible? How was that even
Yeah, your shit might be valid.
Yeah, he's tripping. Bro, Todo would be clapping his hands, and before he could even like have his hands contact each other,
Bro,
Toji would probably have cut his head off with the inverted spirit.
Like before he even like thinks about clapping his head, string decapitated. It will be so fast, bro.
Yeah,
bro. Like literally, this panel. Like I want you to just understand.
Yeah.
And like this is just an animation, but this is just an example of probably something that would happen, bro.
So like in this animation, like this is pretty much what was happening, by the way, because like Toji was so fast, like Gojo was like, shit, I can't follow him, like, and this is the guy with 6 eyes who has the mental processing either of an MFTL like scaling, or he has like infinite or immeasurable, depends how you take that time feat or that timeless void feat, but at least his reaction speed is MFTL. And he can't react to Toji running around him in a large area, mind you. So he just decides, yeah, I'm just gonna start using my like limitless to just like AoE attacking the area. So maybe I can hit him. And he still loses the fight. So like at this point no. You have Toji below Maki. Maki not even being like supposedly on the level of grade 1 sorcerers, which they are kind of capping, but if she is a grade 1 sorcerer in this version, because maybe let's give D1 the benefit of the doubt, maybe he's not far enough in JJK to see current Maki. If he's just going off the old one before her potential awakening, I guess, then fine. Like you could put her in like maybe grade 2. Because if she's in grade 1, she's at the bottom of it. Because the 2 grade 1 sorcerers she was fighting with were both like, yeah, you're not with this shit like that. Like, stop it. And then further to this, Dagon being in grade 3, basically the bottom of the list. Dagon beat 2 people on here. Like, just smoked them. Like, Nanami being one of them. Like, Nanami had 0 chance against Dagon. Especially in his domain. It was really bad. He almost died. Had to be saved by Toji. Maki had 0 chance. Like, he almost one-shotted her. It was implied that, like, the attack that Maki absorbed from him could have killed her. Right? So, how the fuck Maki ends up above him is beyond me. Let's see. The luck guy. So, Jester, if you look at grade 3, the second one from the left in the manga panel, that's just a guy. His whole cursed ability is just luck. He has almost no feats. His best feats are like catching people off guard, and he even admits himself, he's like, yeah, I'm way more cut out to just fight these people who have no curse technique and stuff, because he's like in no danger.
You wanna know what's the funniest one? Like, this is literally like debating against verbatim. Like, this is the pinnacle of dishonesty. That's an early Maki, right? We know that Maki, when she gets all chopped up, burnt up, and then she gets like super OP, right?
Yep.
Then later in the manga, gets stated to be on the level of Toji. How is early Maki relative to Toji if she was nowhere near the level until she got crazy amped?
Yeah. When we know it's nowhere near that level, because this Maki, like, she's, again, not even considered, like, strong enough to be grade 1, even after the sister school event, which she does get amped in. I've probably gone over that a million times in other videos, but, like, even then, she's not considered a grade 1. And you need to be above grade 1 to take on Dagon. For a few reasons. Number 1, Dagon and raw speed would blitz most of this tier list, because we had the fastest sorcerer in the world save Gojo, fight him, and get blitzed, number 1. And number 2, you have, like, who else? You have Mekamaru there, who lost to Panda, but, like, only lost to Panda because he didn't have his full power in his full body. In his full body, Like, he fights Mahito, destroys him a few times, and if he had known how to fight Mahito properly, he probably would have won. So, no, he doesn't belong, like, in the shit tier with grade 3s and whatnot. Another funny one is Megumi being in grade 1, like, above, like, Hanami. Like, no. Megumi is such a bad matchup for Hanami and so much weaker. Like, if he would have fought Hanami instead of Yuji and Todo, he would have died. And we kind of see a little bit of this because, like, Maki and, like, Maki helps Megumi fight Hanami. And he almost dies. Like, if Maki hadn't been there, he would have died pretty quickly. And almost does. The only reason he doesn't is because Todo and Yuji save him. And Hanami hadn't even used any of her big abilities at all. In fact, she was reeling from the cursed speech user, she was being distracted and jumped, like, and Megumi still almost dies. So no, Hanami is also above Megumi. Like, this list is ridiculous. And one of the last things I wanted to go over real quick, this cursed womb stuff, Taco, the two on top, the one in the middle, that's Chozo, right? Like,
yeah, that's Chozo.
I always forget his name. So Chozo, the bloodbender of the JJK verse. Number one, he's just about relative to Yuji at the time that they're fighting. Before Yuji gets any amps, you know, post amps, he would whoop Chozo, and we see this when, you know, Naoya and Yuta pull up on them, and Chozo's like, oh shit, yeah, let me take this guy. You take this Yuta guy or whatever the fuck. Now, we know that the Cursed Wombs, the other one in the top tier, just got bullied by Nobara. Like, so bad. Like, when we were talking about it a little bit before the video, the one here in the corner, top tier special grade plus, was getting bullied by Nobara, the person that D1 put in grade 2. Just tortured to death until he was begging his brother to help him, and then just gets one-shotted by her anyway. So no, doesn't belong there. Chozo definitely doesn't belong above Yuta, because he literally sensed Yuta's sinister presence behind him and just hit his knees, begged for his life, and said, oh my god, I'm gonna die. This obviously not literally, but this was so bad. Like, there was not a prayer that this dude was winning. So the fact that Yuta is an unknown when we have some of the best feats and scaling for him, that shows me you didn't even read the manga, dude. Like, this is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't even watch the movie. I think JJK Zero's out. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
Taco, how do you feel about that?
To piggyback off of what you said, Chozo actually sees Yuta and he's like, if you fight him, you'll definitely die. So that's one funny thing. And then another funny thing about the list is Kenjaku's placement is surprisingly somewhat accurate for how bad this has been so far. So
yeah, it's
one
of the closest. It's one of the closest things to true here. Is that current Kenjaku Ghetto might be a god tier in this verse, and I actually think this for a few reasons. But part of it's like weird narrative scaling that I try to stay away from. But like, I think it's so heavily implied that I think we can use it here, and that's because like, he's not scared of Sukuna in the same way that he's scared of like Gojo, because he thinks that he can control Sukuna, not just recruit him, but we know he thinks he can control Sukuna in the same way he controlled the other cursed spirits, and we know he thought that because he was stronger than all of them, which he was. So that's really interesting to me. So the fact that he's, you know, at the top, that's the closest thing to accurate we see in this list. He can be a top tier, he can be a god tier in this verse, but the fact that he's like put in this tier list above Sukuna, above Gojo, above, like, no, I'm sorry, he's definitely not above Gojo. He's definitely not 2 tiers above him, because he admits, I can't deal with him. He can't be here if I'm going to be successful in life. Like, he's gonna ruin my whole flow. He is my downfall. Like, forget preying on my downfall, he is it. So, I think we've tore this tier list apart at this point. Oh, there was one other thing I wanted to say. So, the number one, Naobito, being an unknown is stupid. We have statements, we have scaling, we have direct fights, we have a lot of scaling for him. The fact that he's an unknown, again, dude, if you read the Shibuya incident, you know where he scales. Jogo, same thing, bro. Even if you watch the anime, like the first 4-5 episodes, you see Jogo versus Gojo. You see, like, bro, you have feats for him. There's nothing unknown about him. He also fights Sukuna with 15 fingers. Like, you're high. He's also stronger than Dagon. We know that to be a fact. He blitzes everybody in that room with the exception of Toji, basically. Like, no, I'm sorry. We know where he is. Like, this is ridiculous. All this stuff says to me that you did not read the manga. You threw this together to bait people into quote-unquote debating you, although I imagine most of these are just going to turn to screaming matches that you'll go and tell Gias you won, honestly. Like, that's what this says to me. I feel like you put stuff there to just bait people. Like, you're trying to be controversial, trying to be edgy. So, I think we've gone through a lot of this. That's most of my takes on it. Jester, did you have anything else to say on this?
Nah, I'm done with this tier list, bro. It's an abomination just looking at it.
Taco, did you have any other thoughts? I feel like you haven't gotten to speak much.
No, you guys covered a lot of it, actually. I guess one last thought would just be Maki. Maki should be in grade 3. That dude's ass. But yeah, that's about it.
All right, so that's it for the tier list, guys. This is probably like a one and done. I really don't like reacting to stuff. I don't like making videos like that. But this was just such blasphemy and nonsense. I felt like
and he's spitting. How? Wait, yeah, even Maki does not beat Todo. What, bro? Yeah, drop him down a grade.
All right. All that being said, guys, peace out. Be safe. Take it easy.
That tier list is